One woman was asleep and meanwhile, another woman was stealing the money she had kept in her pocket. When the other woman finished taking the money from the woman, she left, and at that time, a customer went up to the woman saying that she wanted to buy those oranges. The woman then tells the customer that she could put it on the scale to find out how much it was. When the customer placed the oranges on the scale, the woman pulled a thread, causing the weight to become much greater. She then told the customer the amount she had given, and the customer says that it was too expensive, but the woman says that if she didn't want to buy it she could leave. She then told the customer that if she didn't want to pay for the quality products she sold in her store, she could go elsewhere. The customer gives up trying to reason with the woman and then hands the money to her and leaves. When the customer left, the woman said that she didn't like that type of customer because she asked a lot about the prices. At that moment, she realizes that the money she had in her pocket is gone, and so she starts looking for it. Another woman who was there comes up to her and asks what had happened, and then the woman said that she had been robbed. The other woman says that they could search together, but the woman says that she was not the same as another woman and that she had studied to be a merchant. She says that they were very different and that the other woman was just a woman who was trying to sell some fruit. She then tells her that she knew the other woman had stolen her money and asks her to return it or she would end up calling the police. The other woman apologizes and says that they had known each other for a long time. She says the woman knew she was incapable of doing that. The woman says that they have known each other for a long time and that is why he knew she was a thief, and then starts looking for the money, but she can't find it. The other woman tells the woman to go with it, but the woman says she wanted her money back or she would end up calling the police to arrest the other woman. She was saying that if the other woman was arrested, she would think better of it before stealing other people's money. But at that moment, the employee goes to the woman and says that they could solve it in another way. The woman then asks if her employee was protecting that woman, but the employee says that she just wanted the situation to be resolved in another way. The woman then says that she didn't want to solve it any other way and then says that she would call the police, but at that moment she realizes that a police officer was nearby and starts calling for him. When the policeman goes to the woman and asks what had happened, and she says that this woman had stolen her money. The other woman says that it was a lie and that she had not stolen the woman's money, but the woman says that she knew that the other woman had stolen her money because there was no other person there. The other woman then said that she had not done it, but the woman insists that the other woman had stolen her money, and that when she learned that the woman no longer had it, she started throwing the fruit on the ground. She says that she was just a very humble merchant and that her employee could prove that she was telling the truth, but at that moment she realizes that the employee was no longer there, and so she says that the employee had stolen her money. She then asks the officer to go after the employee and he goes after her. The employee was running and then she ends up stopping behind a tree to count the money, but at this point the policeman arrives and asks her to stop running. She then keeps running and the cop goes after her. The employee then tries to hide, but the officer manages to find her and tells her that she was going to be arrested, as she had stolen and fled from a police officer. She then says that she could explain what made her do it, because she had a good reason. The officer then says that all the robbers always said that, but that she would have to explain it to the judge. She then tells him that she had a good reason and then proceeds to tell the officer what had happened. She then told the officer what the woman was doing. She then went to the woman and asked her why she did that, and the woman said she didn't know what she was talking about, but the employee said she knew she was scamming customers. The woman then tells her that she was very naive and that she had to do it because she wanted to be a great businesswoman in that city. She then handed some bills to the clerk, but the clerk says those bills were fake. The woman then says that she was a very naive person and that people who were very rich didn't get that rich, to be honest. She says that the employee was never going to be a prosperous person in that city because she didn't have the ability to do the things that were needed. She then tells the employee to leave, as she was already getting very angry about the situation. The officer then asked him how he could believe that, and the employee says that she had made a recording. He then asked her why she hadn't reported the woman sooner, but the employee says that the woman was a very intelligent person and that she always got away with all accusations. She then says that she had a plan and that the officer could help her. Later, the officer was telling them that they should report the woman, but the employee says that she knew the plan would work. She said she needed the policeman's help, and then he said he would help her. They then continue with their plan, and the policeman goes to the woman's shop. He arrives at the store and says he needs to buy a lot of fruit and asks if the other woman could help him. She says yes and asks what the man would like to buy. He says he's going to throw a big party and he's going to need a lot of fruit. The other woman says that at that moment, she didn't have everything he needed anymore that she could get for him. The woman then tells the man that if he wanted, he could buy it from her, as she had the best fruit in town. She says that her fruits were the best in that city and that she was sure he would like it a lot. She then proceeded to show the man the fruits she had and told him that he could taste them if he wanted, but he said that was not necessary as he had seen that they were actually very good. He then says that he was going to buy all those fruits and the woman is very excited about it. He said he was going to have a big party and that he was going to need a lot of fruit. The woman says that she would soon call her employee to bring the fruit to him. He then shows her a large amount of money asking if that was enough. She gets very excited and says yes, but soon she realizes that those bills were fake. The man then asked her what she was talking about and she says that she knew those bills were fake because they were the same as the ones she used to deceive her customers. The other woman is very surprised at what the woman had said, and then the woman says that all the merchants in that town did that, but that the man would not deceive her because she knew how to differentiate the counterfeit bills. She then says that she wasn't going to leave it that way and that she was going to call the police, but the man said it wasn't necessary as he was a police officer. He then tells her that she was going to be arrested for deceiving customers with counterfeit bills, but she says that he had no proof of that. At that moment, the employee appears and says that she shouldn't be so sure about that. She then showed it to the woman who had recorded what she had said, which made her very angry. The officer then took the woman away, saying she would be jailed for a long time, but the woman told her employee that she would pay for it. As they were leaving, the other woman asked if she could help the woman, but the employee said it wasn't necessary and that she had something to give to the other woman. She then showed the other woman a large sum of money and told her she could keep the money, but the other woman said she couldn't accept it. The clerk then tells her that she should keep the money as she was a good person and that in fact, she would like to help the other woman with her grocery. She said she didn't have the money to continue with the grocery store, but the clerk says she had a little money saved up and that she was sure everything would work out. She tells the other woman that she should believe in God and that everything will work out. The other woman then accepts the employee's help and tells her she would try.